I bought a camera at a yard sale, and it had crime scene photos on it.
Today we're unpacking a really fascinating, kind of unsettling story from Reddit.
Yeah, this one's called The Camera with Crime Scene Photos.
Yeah.
It's by a user named Ohio Yard Sale Guy.
Right. And our mission really is to see how just a simple purchase, something you might do any weekend, can lead to something completely unexpected and pretty dark.
It really starts so normally, doesn't it? Like, the source is this first-person account from someone who just loves finding deals, sifting through junk at yard sales.
That thrill of the find.
Exactly. That initial relatable joy of thinking you found a real spiel. But this time it was different.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The poster, he's about 34, lives near Columbus, Ohio, and his hobby is basically buying used electronics, junk, that kind of thing.
Finds and flips, maybe? Or just collects?
Sounds like a bit of both.
Yeah.
He describes this perfect Saturday, late spring, warm weather, got his 90s rock playing, an iced coffee.
Paints a picture.
Totally. And he sees this handwritten sign, yard sale, everything must go. Faded blue ranch house.
Okay. Standard yard sale setup. And there it is. On a table, a Canon EOS 80D. Looks like it's in great shape.
A decent camera, not high-end pro, but a solid enthusiast model.
And the price, $20.
Wow. Okay, that's suspiciously cheap.
Right. The woman running it, mid-50s maybe, says it was her brother's. He passed last year.
Ah, okay, so that explains the low price, maybe. Clearing things out.
He just hands over the 20, feels pretty pleased with himself, scored a bargain.
And that's where the ordinary kind of stops, right? He gets it home.
Yeah.
And like you do with any used gadget.
Check what's on it.
Exactly. You poke around, expect maybe some old holiday snaps, pictures of someone's cat.
The usual digital leftovers.
But he's looking through the SD card, and he spots this, hidden folder, buried a bit deeper than usual, DCIMA2.
DCIMO2.
And inside, well, it's not vacation photos, not at all.
What did he find?
He describes the pictures as harsh, grainy, very clinical looking. It's a person lying on the ground inside a house. There's stained carpet.
Yeah. A shoe half off someone's foot, a hand curled in a weird way. And he specifically mentions dark, heavy, real blood.
Oh, man, that's grim.
And then he sees them. The little yellow crime scene markers. Numbers on cones.
No mistake, then. These are actual crime scene photos.
Absolutely. And there's even a picture of a kitchen knife zipped up in a plastic evidence bag. It hits him immediately what he's looking at.
Okay, so finding that's a shock. What's the next move? What did he do?
Well, he says himself it was maybe his first dumb decision, but he went straight to Google.
Right. Makes sense, I guess. Morbid curiosity.
He searched the town where the yard sale was, plus the word murder, and used the photo timestamps to get an approximate date.
Anything come up?
Immediately. First result. A local news article about a domestic homicide from 2021. It had the victim's name, the address.
Yeah.
It all matched.
It matched the house where he bought the camera.
Well, it matched the location described in the article, and crucially, the details in the photos. He even said it matched down to the weird floral carpet pattern mentioned in the news report.
Wow. Okay, that confirmation must have been chilling.
Definitely. And it really makes you think, doesn't it, about digital footprints. How often do we really, truly wipe our devices before we sell them or give them away?
That's a really good point. So he's confirmed he has crime scene photos from a homicide on this camera he just bought for $20. What now?
He decided to call the police, but the non-emergency line.
Okay, probably sensible.
An officer comes out. He shows the officer the SD card. And he described the officer's face just changing from sort of polite boredom to something sharper.
Instantly clicked what he was seeing.
Yeah. The officer took the card, asked a few standard questions, and then just told him, don't talk to anyone about this.
Just like that. Don't talk about it.
Pretty much. Yeah. Which is interesting, right? The way this evidence just sort of surfaced casually at a yard sale. Makes you wonder about the whole chain of custody.
Yeah, how did it even get there? Did the police miss it? Or was it someone else's copy? So many questions.
Exactly. And the story doesn't quite end there. There's a final unsettling detail.
Go.
2 days later, he drives past that same blue ranch house again. The yard sale stuff is gone, obviously. But now, yellow crime scene tape stretched across the garage door.
Whoa. So the police went back after he gave them the card.
It certainly looks that way. Maybe his discovery prompted them to re-examine something, or maybe it was related to the sister clearing things out. We don't know. He never heard back from the police.
And a camera.
He mentioned he bought a new SD card for it, but he just couldn't bring himself to use it. Just sits in his closet now. Can you blame him?
Not at all. So taking this all in, what's the big takeaway from this deep dive?
I think it really circles back to what the original poster concluded. He said, you think you're buying someone's junk. Sometimes you're buying a piece of someone's nightmare.
That's powerful.
It really is. And it forces you, the listener, to maybe look differently at the ordinary things around you. Especially used things. What unseen stories, what hidden histories might be lurking inside that old phone in your drawer or that piece of furniture you picked up.
Yeah, what fascinating or even deeply unsettling truths could be hiding right there in plain sight? It's definitely something to think about.
Got an anonymous note telling me not to go to work tomorrow, and I listened.
So imagine finding just a cryptic little note, maybe 4 words, that completely flips your day or, well, maybe even your life. Today we're diving into this really weird story about Evan. He's 31, works in insurance in Columbus, Ohio, living what he himself called an aggressively average life until this anonymous warning just appeared. Our mission here is to unpack this chilling little real-life mystery and maybe explore how we react when something totally unexpected gives us pause.
Yeah, it's fascinating. This whole deep dive really hangs on the power of just an unexplained warning. So Evan gets home, right, finds this plain white envelope. It's just sitting there with his junk mail. But the thing is, no return address.
Yeah.
No stamp, which means someone, physically put it there. On the front, just Evan, big block letters. And inside, just a single sheet of paper typed in the middle. Do not go to work tomorrow. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so Evan gets this. And his first reaction, he laughs. Figures it's a dumb prank. Maybe from his coworker, Tim. He said Tim's the kind of guy who'd send him, onion ring photos at 2 a.m. You know that kind of reaction, right? No. Just immediately try to brush it off, make it normal.
Totally. It's that default setting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rationalize the weird stuff, fit it into what we know. But then it kind of hits him. Wait a minute, Tim doesn't actually know my address. And yeah, the no stamp thing, that means it wasn't mailed. Someone had to get past the key fob security in his apartment building. Someone physically put that note in his mailbox. And he said, suddenly, his reheated mac and cheese just wasn't tasting too good.
Yeah, I bet. So, okay, what does he do? He's stuck, right? After an hour of just turning it over in his head, he texts his friend Danielle. He calls her his "What Would a Rational Human Do" hotline.
Uh-huh, that's great.
Right. And her advice is super simple. Worst case, you look paranoid. Best case, you avoid something bad. Now, for Evan, this is huge. This is a guy who apparently worked through stomach flu before, so calling in sick, it's completely out of character. But something about that note, the delivery, it just didn't sit right. It sort of overrode his normal push-through-it instinct.
Exactly. And that's where you see the raw power of this unexplained warning, right? It wasn't just logic. It was more of a gut feeling, maybe, triggered by how bizarre the whole thing was, the delivery method. It just scrambled his normal routine. And thank goodness it did. Because the next morning, he wakes up around 7, makes coffee.
Yeah.
But instead of getting dressed for work, he just sits there, refreshing the local news on his phone, like he said, like a psycho.
Yeah, before something.
Yeah. And then around 9:12 a.m., bam, his phone just starts blowing up. Group text from work. Turns out around 8:45 a.m., some guy walked into their office, had something that looked like a gun under his jacket, apparently yelling about how the company ruined his life, demanding money. The receptionist hit the panic button. The guy panicked too and just bolted before the cops showed up. Thankfully, nobody got hurt, but everyone was, completely freaked out.
Oh my God. So Evan immediately knows that note wasn't a prank. Someone knew something bad was going to happen, and they warned him. Specifically him. That must have sent chills down his spine and raised so many questions like, why me? Why not warn everybody else? Could they only reach him? Or was this personal?
Right.
He thought about the police, but then what would he even tell them? I got a weird note. Felt like a dead end, he said.
And you can imagine the psychological fallout. Even 2 weeks later, he says he's still feeling it. Now he locks his apartment door like the second he gets inside. Suddenly hyper aware of every stranger in the hallway. That envelope, it's still in his desk drawer. He's looked at it, he says, maybe 100 times. Even held it up to the light, like in the movies, looking for anything, nothing.
Wow.
It just shows how one unexplained thing can completely shift how you see your world, your safety. And he keeps wondering, is whoever wrote that note still out there, watching, protecting him, or just keeping tabs? He basically decided, look, if they ever send another warning, he's absolutely listening. No questions asked this time.
Yeah, absolutely. This story, this whole deep dive, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about that blurry line between just being cautious, maybe intuition, and actual paranoia. and how we cope when something just comes out of the blue like that and shatters our everyday routine, how quickly things can feel unsafe.
And Evan put it pretty well himself. He said, sometimes paranoia is just self-preservation wearing a louder outfit. Just kind of leaves a question for you, listening right now. What kind of seemingly irrational prompt, what little nudge might you actually listen to? And what could you potentially gain or avoid by trusting something totally unexpected?
I accidentally overheard a conversation about robbing me.
A source that's really quite raw. It's an online post titled, "I accidentally overheard a conversation about robbing me."
Yeah, it's pretty chilling stuff.
It is. So our mission today is basically to unpack the story, see how a totally normal evening just twisted into something really unsettling, and, figure out what we can maybe learn from it.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder, I think, of how these ordinary moments, things we do every day, can sometimes hold these unexpected dangers, or at least lessons.
Okay, so let's get into it. Our guy, the poster, he's living a pretty standard life, mid-tier apartment in Ohio, nothing too dramatic happening day to day.
Right, the usual routine.
Totally. He describes his typical evening, gets General Tso's chicken, has a beer, scrolls Reddit, the usual wind down.
Sounds familiar.
But this one, Thursday night, maybe around 8:30, he realizes he forgot to take out the trash. And apparently it had started to smell.
Ah, the dreaded smelly trash.
Yeah.
Always get you.
Right. So he decides he's got to take it out. Now, to get to the dumpsters, he has to go through this specific hallway. It's between the back exit and the parking lot.
And the description of that hallway is important, isn't it? He mentions it's narrow.
Yeah, narrow and echoey. He says sound bounces around in there in weird ways.
Which is crucial. Those acoustics, they can turn a private chat into something anyone nearby might pick up. It's that environmental factor, situational awareness, in a place you think is, well, just a hallway.
So he's walking down this echoey hall, and he hears voices. Two guys. He can't see them yet. At first, he thinks it's just, guys talking something about something being easy.
Okay, just background noise initially.
Exactly. But then the words sharpen. One guy says something like, he's on the 3rd floor, N unit, always leaves around 7:03 before work. Doesn't get back until after dark.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then we could be in and out before anyone even notices.
That's incredibly specific. That's not just random chatter. The floor, the unit, the times, that's surveillance.
Right. Your stomach would just drop. And then the other voice chimes in, confirming details about stuff inside this apartment. Like
what?
Like the TV in the living room, and the laptop by the couch, and the chilling part. These were things easily visible because, well, he hadn't closed his blinds.
Ah, the open blinds. Classic vulnerability. It's like window shopping for burglars, unfortunately. Our routines, our visible possessions, they paint a picture.
Totally. So he just freezes mid-step, heart hammering away. And his mind is racing. Right. Call the cops. Am I overreacting? Is this really happening?
That hesitation is so common. Your brain is trying to process something that just doesn't fit the normal reality of taking out the trash.
Yeah.
Threat assessment under pressure is tough.
So what does he do? He backs up super quietly, gets back into his apartment, slams the deadbolt, locks the chain, everything. His hands are shaking, but he calls the non-emergency police line.
Smart move. Even non-emergency gets it logged. What do they say?
Just that they'd check the area. Standard procedure maybe. But things get creepier.
How so?
The next morning, he has to leave for work, right? He goes out the back way again, cautiously. And there's this guy, hoodie guy he calls him, just leaning against the wall near the exit, smoking, looking like he's just waiting.
Okay, that definitely feels like escalation. Not just talk anymore, maybe actual eyes on the place. That's brazen.
It really is. But the absolute kicker, he gets home from work that night, checks everything, looks okay, but then he sees it, a small piece of paper, folded up, wedged into his doorframe.
Oh, no. What did it say?
Just 3 words, see soon.
Oh, wow. That's not about theft anymore. That's psychological. That's a direct threat designed purely to intimidate. Chilling.
Totally. So his reaction is immediate. Packs a go bag, grabs his laptop, gets out of there, goes to stay with a friend across town.
Good call. Distance equals safety in that moment.
Yeah. Then he calls the landlord. Doesn't just ask. He demands the locks be changed. And he made sure to mention possible burglary and police report, words that get landlords moving fast.
Smart tactic, leveraging the official language. So what happened after that?
Well, the post says it was about 3 weeks later. The locks were changed. No more voices heard. No more hoodie guy sightings. But, he says, he's got some new habits now.
I bet.
Blinds always closed, like religiously. And he only takes the trash out during daylight hours now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about reducing those opportunities, minimizing those vulnerabilities he suddenly became aware of, the open blinds, the predictable schedule, even the acoustics of the building. These small things matter hugely.
Yeah. And his own takeaway, the way he sums it up, is pretty stark. He says something like, sometimes you think you're just taking out the trash, and then suddenly you're living in the first act of a true crime podcast.
Oof, that hits hard, but it's true, isn't it? It really underscores how quickly the mundane can intersect with something dangerous.
It really does. Makes you think about, just how thin that veil of normalcy can sometimes be. Unexpected turns in very everyday situations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it speaks volumes about trusting your gut, your instincts, even if a situation feels bizarre or too much like a movie sometimes. It's real. Vigilance isn't paranoia, it's just, paying attention.
A simple overheard conversation, maybe lasting just a minute, changing everything. Definitely something to reflect on.
My life flipped upside down after I took in a stray cat.
We've all been there, right? Life feels, predictable. Same routine, day in, day out. And then, boom, something totally unexpected happens and everything just gets flipped on its head. But what if that big change, that pivot point, was sparked by something you actually, really resisted at first? And this person, they were very clear they were not a cat person at all. Even ease the old allergic excuse, perfectly happy to just watch funny cat videos online.
Yeah, let me just watch a YouTube video of a cat doing something stupid and laugh. That was their quote.
Exactly. Picture it. Working this kind of dead-end warehouse job, living in what they called a crappy 2-bedroom apartment on the edge of town.
Yeah.
And it's this cold, wet March evening. All they want is, microwave leftovers and Netflix.
Just wanting to get inside, basically. And that's precisely when it starts. They're fumbling with their keys, it's miserable out, and then they hear it. A sound. Described as faint, pitiful, almost like a baby crying, but tinny. Strange word, tinny.
Tinny. Yeah, that's odd.
And they look down, and there's this cat, just soaked, shivering, and apparently looking right at them like I was the last human left on Earth. That's how they put it.
Wow. Okay, so heartbreaking scene. But you'd expect a stray to run, right? Especially if you're fumbling with keys.
That's what they expected. But no, this cat, it walked right in, just strolled in, cool as you please, like he owned the place.
Okay, yeah.
Our listener literally called that red flag number 1.
All right, so red flag number 1, the cat's inside.
Yeah.
But what happened then? Did the weirdness stop there, or did it ramp up?
Oh, it ramped up.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, they realized this wasn't your typical stray. For one thing, the cat was just way too clean. Surprisingly so.
No fleas? No?
No fleas. Didn't smell bad. Didn't seem starved or anything, which is weird for a cat found soaked on the street. And then there was the way it looked at them. The gaze.
Okay.
They said it felt like he was studying me. They'd catch him just watching. Made them really start to wonder, who exactly was rescuing whom here,
Yeah, like the cat's assessing them.
Yeah.
So was it creepy or just puzzling?
I think more puzzling at first. Bewilderment, maybe. But then things started getting, stranger. Little things at first. Keys going missing. Then reappearing somewhere totally random.
Oh, I hate that.
Right. Phone, coins, the TV remote even. They started feeling really scatterbrained.
Okay. Yeah, easy to blame yourself for that stuff. Stress, maybe.
That's what they thought. But it kept happening. It felt like more than just being forgetful, the pattern was too weird.
Okay, so from feeling scatterbrained, where did it go next? Sounds like it escalated.
It definitely escalated. Moved from just odd into properly surreal territory. That's when the dreams started, these hyper-vivid dreams. In the dreams, the apartment felt wrong, like walls moved, furniture rearranged, just off. And the cat, always there in the dream, just staring right at them.
Okay, that's unsettling. Staring cat in a shifting dream apartment.
Yeah. And then came what they called the open window incident. This was late April. They heard a noise, went into the living room, and the cat sitting right by the window. And the window, it's open wide.
Wait, which window?
The living room one, on the 4th floor. And get this, the latch was broken. They never used that window.
4th floor, broken latch, wide open, no way.
Exactly. And they said they could smell something weird, too. Something metallic in the air.
Metallic. Okay, that adds a whole other layer. Strange.
And this connects directly to the moment their life really flipped. Just a couple of days after finding that open window, their downstairs neighbor got robbed.
Robbed. How?
Jewelry and cash taken. Now, logically, how does someone get in or out of a fourth-floor window with a broken latch? It seems impossible.
Right. Seems totally unconnected.
Except our listener couldn't shake the feeling, this, chilling realization that it was connected somehow. And the cat just kept looking at them like he knew something.
Wow. Okay. So, the open window, the robbery downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
That's intense. What did they DO? Did they, call animal control? Freak out.
You'd think, maybe, but nope. The complete opposite happened. Since all that went down, their life has actually gotten, well, weirdly better.
Better. Yeah.
They got an unexpected raise at work, out of the blue, found a $50 bill just appeared in their wallet one morning. Just there.
Seriously.
Seriously. And this neighbor they'd had ongoing grief with about parking suddenly apologized and even offered them a reserved spot.
Okay, that is weirdly better. So the cat's still around through all this.
Oh, yeah. The cat is still
Yeah.
watching. That hasn't stopped. And random little things still turn up. Coins, sometimes bits of jewelry, nothing valuable. Usually even an old Polaroid camera ones.
Old Polaroid? Where does that even come from?
Who knows? And the thing is, our listener, they've kind of stopped asking questions.
Really? After all that, yeah.
It's like acceptance. They feed the cat. They keep that window unlocked now.
The broken one.
Oh.
They leave it unlocked.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And they don't complain when the cat disappears for a few hours at night, which it apparently does sometimes. They initially named him Murphy, as in Murphy's Law, because it felt like everything was going wrong when he arrived.
That makes sense.
But now it's different. It's more this implied understanding, sometimes the bad luck, or what looks like bad luck, it brings you exactly what you need. Even if it has claws, that's their feeling now.
That is quite the journey from not a cat person with a kind of crummy life to someone whose life is genuinely better than it's ever been thanks to this seriously enigmatic tabby cat.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about where big changes come from.
Yeah.
What if the stuff that really shifts our lives, the truly profound benefits, don't come from where we expect? What if they come from these totally unlikely, maybe even inexplicable sources? And, how much do we maybe unknowingly gain just by accepting the unknown? Even as our listener found out, if it has claws, something to ponder maybe.
My girlfriend's mom turned out to be my old high school classmate, and now I can't unsee it.
It presents this truly wild, almost unbelievable meet the parents scenario. Honestly, it's one of those stories that just proves life can throw curveballs stranger than fiction.
Definitely.
So our mission today is to, understand the profound psychological impact when your past quite literally walks right into your present day.
What's fascinating here is that this isn't just some funny anecdote you tell at parties, right? It's really a masterclass in psychological dissonance.
Dissonance, yeah.
It forces us, or him in this case, to confront how our perception of reality can just shatter when two totally distinct versions of a person, like a high school crush and your girlfriend's mom, suddenly merge.
Oh, man.
It's like resculpting your own internal narratives, but, live, in real time.
Absolutely. So get this. Our protagonist, he's 36, works in IT. He's been dating Emily, who's 28, for almost a year.
Okay.
Things are serious. They're talking moving in, joint Costco membership, serious,
That's serious.
Right, he met her dad. That was fine. But the mom, she travels a lot, apparently. Harder to pin down.
Mm-hmm.
So he's built up this picture in his head, right? The typical Midwestern mom, maybe late 40s, early 50s, cardigan, small talk, just comfortable, predictable.
The standard expectation,
Yeah.
And then the reality hit.
Exactly. The door swings open at this nice, well-kept brick house, and his brain just, he says, it glitched like an old Windows XP computer.
Huh. Great description.
Because standing there is Jessica R. He sat 2 rows behind in AP English his senior year.
No way. Same person.
Same person. He says same piercing green eyes, even the same little scar on her eyebrow from a basketball hoop thing back in the day.
Wow. Okay. And did she recognize him?
Instantly. He saw this tiny flicker, this micro expression in her eyes. He knew she knew.
Uh-oh.
But neither of them says a word. It's just this silent, mutual, oh crap moment.
That is peak awkwardness right there. Just, wow.
So dinner happens, roast chicken, mashed potatoes. The whole time he's doing this silent math in his head.
Yeah, trying to piece it together.
Yeah, okay, we were both 18 then. Emily is 28 now, meaning Jessica had her at 20, just 2 years after they graduated high school.
Right after high school, basically. That's a lot to process over dinner.
And the kicker, he admits he had this tiny crush on her back then. He even specifically remembers her having the coolest denim jacket.
Oh, that just adds another layer, doesn't it?
Right.
So he's processing the timeline and dealing with faint echoes of a high school crush
Right.
while trying to impress his potential mother-in-law.
Who is the crush? It's nuts.
That's the dynamic, isn't it? He's flashing back to high school cafeteria pizza slices, maybe. Well, she's probably thinking, okay, act normal. Don't make this weird for Emily.
Totally. Protecting her daughter.
Yeah.
So the conversation is polite, but he describes all this awkward eye contact. You can just feel the tension.
I can only imagine that underlying current of shared history nobody else is aware of.
And then it gets even more direct.
Yeah.
Later, Emily and her dad step outside for a bit. He's alone in the kitchen with Jessica.
Okay, here we go.
She just leans on the counter, gives him this little smile, and says, "Small world, huh?"
Wow. She acknowledged it.
Yep. But minimally. He just gives this like awkward short laugh and goes, "Yeah, really small."
And that was it.
That was it. No follow-up from her. They just rejoin the others like it barely happened. What does that tell us, that little non-conversation?
Well, it tells us a lot about how we navigate social minefields, doesn't it? It's like an unspoken agreement.
Right.
They both clocked the elephant in the room, gave it the tiniest nod, and then just backed away slowly. For now, anyway, it's self-preservation, protecting the current situation, especially Emily.
Who still has no idea. That's the thing.
Completely in the dark.
So he's left with this massive dilemma. How does he even begin to tell Emily? He literally thinks, "Hey, babe, by the way, I went to prom the same year your mom did. Also, we dissected frogs together."
Yeah, there's no easy way to phrase that, is there? It sounds absurd.
It is absurd. And he's noticing all these little things now.
Yeah.
Like Jessica still has the exact same laugh, still chews the end of her pen, just like she did in high school.
No, wow.
He feels like he's watching a living yearbook photo walk around in mom jeans. It's like a time loop. His biggest fear now, Emily pulling out old photo albums.
Oh, the photo albums. That would be the ultimate test, wouldn't it? This raises such an important question, though.
Yeah.
How do we actually integrate these unexpected reappearances of past identities, ours or someone else's, into our current lives, our current relationships, without just blowing everything up?
Right. How do you make it? Okay.
Exactly. This story really highlights the layers of identity we all carry. You know, the teenager, the young parent, the person you are now. And when those layers collide unexpectedly, it can force this really profound reevaluation of yourself, of the other person.
So what does this all mean for you listening? I mean, this deep dive is, it's kind of comedic, but it's also a pretty profound look at how our past can literally just walk into our living room.
Mm-hmm.
It forces this rapid rejigging of how we see things, doesn't it?
It really does.
It makes you wonder, right? How many connections from your own past might be lurking just, under the surface of your life right now, waiting for some random, maybe incredibly awkward reunion?
It's a fascinating thought. What hidden histories do you carry? Histories that could suddenly intersect with someone else's, changing how you see them, and maybe even how you see yourself. Something to think about.
Sometimes one random selfie changes everything.
That honestly turns something as simple as taking a selfie into, well, something genuinely chilling.
Yeah, it's quite the story. We're going to unpack how this one really casual photo from a 32-year-old project coordinator in Cleveland revealed something deeply unsettling.
And her biggest excitement lately had been good hummus at Aldi, just to set the scene. This really shows how, a single snapshot can just crack open your whole world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning.
Right. So our story kicks off with a totally, unremarkable moment. She's about to start work, gets a coffee meme from her best friend.
Pretty standard morning stuff.
Totally. So on a whim, she sends back a before caffeine selfie on Snapchat. She mentioned, the light was good. She had a navy blouse on, maybe a bit wrinkled, hair up, not much makeup.
Just a quick snap for a friend.
Sent it, didn't think twice. Just casual.
Okay, but then things take a turn, right? Later that day.
Yeah. Her friend texts back asking if she'd posted that selfie somewhere else, and she sends a screenshot.
And the screenshot shows.
It shows the exact selfie she took that morning, but it's on some random guy's public Instagram story.
Wow. Not shared from her account.
No, posted as if he took it, presented as his own photo.
Okay, that's already weird. So naturally, she clicks on his profile.
She does, and this is where it gets really terrifying.
Right. What did she find?
It wasn't just the one photo. His profile was public, and it had dozens, literally dozens of photos of her.
Oh my God. Reposts from her own account.
I know, that's the thing. They were candid shots. taken over 9 months.
9 months.
Yeah, pictures of her walking into work, shopping at Target, just waiting in line at Starbucks, places she actually goes. She'd never even seen this guy before.
That is deeply disturbing. And the captions, I remember reading, they were bad.
Incredibly unsettling. Things like, she doesn't know yet, and someday she'll see me. Ugh.
It's this implied ownership, isn't it? Over her image, her life. It's more than just taking pictures.
Definitely. So she screenshots everything, obviously. Calls the police. Which you'd think is the right move.
You would hope so. What did they say?
Well, this is another frustrating part. The officer basically just told her to block him and report the account.
That's it.
Yeah. Said it wasn't, quote, technically illegal because the photos were taken in public places.
Right. That public places argument, it feels really inadequate online, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It highlights this huge legal gray area around digital stalking.
It really does. And then there's this one detail that just confirms everything. The caption on her selfie, the one she took on his story.
What did it say?
It said, she's starting to notice.
Wow. Okay, so he knew. He knew she was onto him.
Exactly. It confirmed her worst fear. She was actively being watched.
You can just imagine the impact. The panic attacks she mentioned, changing her routines, constantly looking over her shoulder. Her sense of safety just gone.
Completely shattered. Okay, but the story doesn't end there. There's this unbelievable connection that comes out later, right? About 3 months later.
You get this. She gets a message out of the blue from an old college roommate, Emily.
Okay.
Emily had been seeing this guy pretty casually. And Emily saw the user's coffee selfie on her private Instagram story. The user had posted it there too.
Right.
And Emily recognized it because her new boyfriend had that exact same selfie saved on his phone.
Wait, the stalker was her roommate's boyfriend?
Yes, it was him. Apparently, he'd seen the user in a cafe almost a year before and decided she was meant to be his. Built this whole creepy online shrine.
That is absolutely wild. So what happened then?
Well, Emily dumped him immediately, like on the spot. And he vanished from social media the same day.
Good for Emily. Yeah. And the original user.
She eventually moved apartments, went to a completely different side of the city just to feel safe again.
Understandable.
I know her friends apparently joke now about her getting reverse catfished by accident, but it wasn't funny. It profoundly affected her, realizing she'd been watched, documented for months.
It really hammers home the moral of the story, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. That sometimes the picture you take, even just for fun, isn't only for you. And you don't always get to choose who's looking.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? In this age of cameras everywhere, public profiles, what does this story make you consider about your own awareness? About the unseen eyes that might just be watching your everyday life?
It forces a reevaluation of public, really. It's not just what you share. It's the digital shadow you cast by just being out there. Knowing this story hopefully helps you see the world maybe just a little differently.
Thanks for being with us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.